This is the Ford Ranger Tremor. Now, some of you might recognize this vehicle as our long-term test unit. This video isn't about this car, it's about this. This is the Mitsubishi Triton 2025 model. Now, some of you might be asking us why we're comparing the Tremor to the Triton. And well, we're not. See, the Tremor has become the baseline test for most of our double cab testing as of late. So we actually just want to see how the Mitsubishi Triton stacks up against one of the big players. So let's take a look at the interiors, go for a drive, and we'll let you know what we think at the end. Now, when it comes to 4x4 activity, you find yourself out in the bush. Both the Triton and the Tremor have very, very similar four-wheel drive systems in that you have this little dial here in the center console, which gives you 2 high, 4 low, and then 4 low range. So we are approaching a small obstacle now, so I am actually in drive. I'm just going to flick it over into 4 high and attempt the obstacle, see what happens. It is important to remember though that this Triton is the athlete derivative, so it doesn't actually have off-road tires, it has road tires. And therein you find it is perfectly capable of climbing a rather steep obstacle. I have to admit though, the four-wheel drive system in the Mitsubishi, which is the Super Select 2, for me has always been a far superior system to just about anything that you can find on the market. I'd like you guys to tell me in the comments which double cab vehicle you think has the best four-wheel drive system. In the Tremor, it's a very similar setup. You have that little dial in the middle that gives you 2 high, 4 low, and 4 low range. Both vehicles also have diff locks. It's just, when it comes to the Tremor's version of it, it feels a lot easier to use, almost idiot-proof. As far as capability is concerned, they're both very capable of climbing obstacles. With the Tremor, it's just that much easier because of those off-road tires and that Bilstein suspension. The off-road capabilities of the Tremor are just that. It just is such an easy car to drive off-road. But I don't know though. I think I would still, for everyday use, I'd want the Triton. Now, we all know that double cabs are dual use vehicles. You drive them out in the bush on the weekend, but most people use them every single day driving around in the city. Now, where the cracks begin to show with the Tremor is when you leave the dirt and head out onto the tar. The Tremor does seem to be a little bit less composed on the road. And that's not due to a lack of power. I mean, this is the 2-litre bi-turbo, so this is making 154 kilowatts and 500 Newton meters. And the 10-speed auto box just changes seamlessly. Okay. It's the actual ride comfort that is a bit of an issue. There is a very noticeable bounce, and that's because of the soft Bilstein suspension. The other issue that I have with the Tremor, and that is Ford claims that this vehicle will do 7.5 liters per 100 kilometers. And in all the time that we've had this vehicle on its long-term test, not one of the guys in the team has been able to get this vehicle to drop down below 10. So where Ford was saying you're going to get 1,000 kilometers on a tank of diesel, we're lucky if we're touching 700. And that is a bit problematic, especially in a vehicle that costs as much as this. When we start talking about price though, the Ranger Tremor, yeah, it starts coming up a little bit short against the Triton. This vehicle costs 978,600 Rand, and that's a little bit problematic because the Triton is a lot cheaper. Inside the Tremor, it is a bit of a tech fest. It's digital everything. This giant iPad-like screen in the middle and the digital driver's binnacle. You really have to be a fan of tech to appreciate what's going on in here. You know, and then we talk about that four-wheel drive system that we just tested, and it's very much the same. It's a push a button and drive. Once you get into the Triton, it's a completely different story. This vehicle is quieter, it's more plush. In fact, it drives like a car. There is minimal bounce from the suspension in the rear. The Triton that is currently on sale is powered by a 2.4 DID single turbo diesel engine, and it is very, very well behaved. It delivers 135 kilowatts, 430 newton meters, which is a little bit less than the Tremor. But the fascinating thing is, Mitsubishi claims this vehicle will deliver 8.3 liters per 100 kilometers. And over the few days that we've been driving in a combined cycle, city, open road, out in the country, and even some 4x4ing, we've been averaging 8.4 liters per 100, which is bang on what Mitsubishi has claimed they will deliver. And because of that, you can be guaranteed you're going to get almost 980 kilometers on a tank of diesel. And with the price of diesel these days, that is a bit of a heaven sent. Now I do want to touch on styling for just a moment. And something that you will notice is that vehicles like the Ranger and a lot of the Chinese models that are entering the South African market all have a distinctly Americanized style to them. Big, flat, barn-sided design. Your Japanese buckies, like the Hilux and the Isuzu D-Max and the Triton, seem to have maintained this double cab styling that we've become quite used to. Long, elongated noses, shallower side profiles. And for me personally, I actually rather prefer the Japanese styling over the American styling. In terms of safety, both the Tremor and the Triton both offer very, very high levels of safety equipment. Both vehicles offer 7 airbags and a host of features to make your drive a little bit safer. But in my honest opinion, the best part about the Triton is you're getting all of this for 100,000 Rand less than that Tremor. This is only going to cost you 859,900 Rand. But I mean, you're saving 100,000 Rand and you're getting a vehicle that is just shy of what that Tremor is. And for me, that does raise quite a lot of questions. So, the Mitsubishi Triton then. How does it stack up against the Tremor? Well, like we said, it is a bit of an unfair comparison. The Tremor has its big Americanized styling, its Tonka toy buttons and door handles, where the Triton feels more like a premium sedan. So I think it's fair to say that if you are going to spend the majority of your time off-road, then you should really be looking at something like the Tremor, or in the Mitsubishi's case, the extreme version of this Triton. Either way, we rather enjoyed what the Triton has to offer. And at the 100,000 Rand premium that you can save, I think we're taking this home.